Israel's December decision to revoke the licenses of more than 36 NGOs from operating in Gaza and the West Bank has aid groups scrambling to grapple with their ability to help tens of thousands of struggling Palestinians. The groups do everything from providing tents and water to supporting clinics and medical facilities, though the overall impact of the ban, which goes into effect on March 1st, remains unclear. Israel says the licenses were revoked after the aid groups refused to share full details of their staff. We can speak to one of the humanitarian organizations which is affected by this ban. Elsa Softic from Première Urgence Internationale joins me on the set. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you
on
for having
France
me.
24. You've obviously condemned these new, tighter restrictions from Israel that led to this ban. What concretely does this mean for your organization on the ground?
So we received this letter on the 30th of December saying our current registration was no longer effective from the 1st of January, and that we have 2 months to stop our activities and withdraw all of our international staff from Gaza, the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Or we can also decide to comply with their requests to share our staff list, and then maybe we will be registered again. So the concrete impact for us today is like we continue our operations because we are still in the 60 days period, and we are trying to find negotiations with the Israeli authorities to revoke this ban on all these NGOs.
Because there's one NGO, Doctors Without Borders, who said that they have legitimate concerns over the issue of giving personal details of Palestinian employees, saying that some of them have been killed by Israel. Do you agree with that assessment? How closely do you work with Palestinians?
We fully work with Palestinians. Most of our staffs are Palestinians, both in Gaza and the West Bank. Like 95% of our current staff is Palestinian. And of course, we agree with the MSF concerns. For all INGOs in Palestine, but anywhere in the world, it's ethically complicated to share a staff list with parties to the conflict. We know, as you mentioned, that in Gaza, 500 aid workers have been killed since the beginning of this genocide. And we have serious concerns about what they are going to do with the data that we would share. Secondly, we also have to comply with our own regulations, and we are not supposed to share any data or information from any staff anywhere in the world. So this is also something very important. We don't have to share any data to the Israeli authorities.
Right, and Israel says that this ban only affects a small amount of aid groups that are actually having an effect in these territories. Is that true?
No, it's not true, of course. So we are 37 organizations that received this ban on the end of December. That represent more than 50% of the health sector, 100% of the mine action, 100% of the mental health action, 100% of the malnutrition treatment action. This is huge. What Israel is saying is that we did not make anything enter into Gaza in 2025 or since the beginning of this current ceasefire, but it's only because Israel authorities obstructed us from entering anything into Gaza. So this is also a narrative that Israel is using, but we don't agree at all with this narrative.
I want to talk about Gaza for a moment there. Tell us more about the situation, because we've heard from other aid groups that the amount of trucks that are supposed to, aid trucks that are supposed to go into the territory under the ceasefire agreement is actually not at all happening.
Yeah, so the situation is that some trucks are entering, but of course it's not enough. And some items are still banned from the Israeli authorities to enter into Gaza. And second of all, like the aid is not only measured by the amount of trucks that is entering. So we also have impediments like a lot of obstructions of entering our international staff, to have authorization to visit even the West Bank, not only Gaza. So all the obstructions are done in a very, very different part of our work, and it did not begin with this letter on the 30th of December. It has been all the year like this, and even 2024 was very hard on humanitarians. I'd like to highlight something very important here. Humanitarian action is not something that is an option. It's mandatory, like in regard to the international humanitarian law. It's an obligation to the party of the conflict, and Israel is not respecting that part of the contract.
So what is most in need in Gaza in particular? Is it food, shelter?
Currently
we've seen those winter storms completely.
Yes, so the food is getting a little bit better since the beginning of ceasefire because some trucks could enter for aid, but also for private sector. So we can find a little bit of food, but the main needs remain healthcare, shelter, as you've seen, like with the winter, like these images, the winter is hitting very hard, and the condition of living for the Palestinians are very, very poor, and shelter kits and shelter items are banned from entering into Gaza. So also the situation for the people inside Gaza is really, really bad, and the ceasefire did not stop this. This is very important. Also, the needs are huge in terms of education, access to healthcare, access to mental health support, and like 90% of the infrastructures are destroyed. So we also have a very big challenge about mine action because all the Gaza Strip is also contaminated by unexploded devices.
Even just, logistically to operate there is very complicated.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the West Bank too, because there we've seen an increasing amount of settler violence. We've seen more and more forced displacements and evictions by Israeli authorities. First of all, how logistically can you operate as an aid organization in those conditions, and what is most in need in the West Bank?
First, thank you for speaking about the West Bank, because it's really important that we do not separate Gaza from East Jerusalem and the West Bank. This is the only Palestinian territory. The situation in the West Bank is really dire. Like the settler violence has increased by 200 or 300% in the year. New settlements have been authorized by the Knesset, and what we see is that people are they cannot access to basic services because their villages are completely closed, or the roads are blocked, a lot of checkpoints, a lot of displacement. And more we have also impediments on the NGOs working in the West Bank. This, the registration process is impacting, of course, Gaza, but the West Bank as rely a lot on the humanitarian intervention as well. And that's what we fear, is that if the international organizations are going out, there is no one who can speak about what's happening, and it gives the floor to anything bad that Israeli authorities can do.
All right, well, hopefully something can be worked out between the Israeli authorities and the NGOs if it means better aid for these Palestinians in West Bank and Gaza. Elsa Softic from Première Urgence Internationale, thank you very much for being with us on France 24.
Thank you.